New year, new dragon. Yes! We're looking at the latest chapter in the Like a Dragon series, Infinite Wealth. And this new chapter brings us to an entirely new location, Hawaii. For the first time in the long-running series, we'll basically play the entire game away from our hometown of Japan. And it is there in Hawaii that Ichiban and Kiri will finally meet. I mean, they've already met, but this time we will actually band together, because Kiryu is dealing with a whole series of personal issues, and he's trying to make peace with his past, and he's also battling a serious illness which has left him with only a few months to live. Still, if you're worried if that will come into play, it doesn't really, not in a big way. Kiryu is still pretty much the strong character we've known. You need to kind of train him and bring him back to where he was before, and it does mention limiting himself, choosing his battle, but he'll still have no qualms following us as we beat up random foes on the street anyway, so yeah. As for Ichiban, well, I think he can tell us what he's been up to.
お初にお目にかかります。手前、小国と発しまするはジャパンの東京カムロ町。町のソープで産湯を使い、姓は春日、名は一番。人呼んで浜の英雄と発します。奇妙な絵にし持ちまして、生き別れの母のため、はるばる海越え国越えて、やってきましたホノルルシティ。以後お見知りおきの上、強行万端よろしくお頼み申します。
Thanks, Ichiban. But yeah, soon we'll find out also that Ichiban's mother is being haunted by basically every criminal organization in Honolulu. The Chinese mafia, the local crime gangs, the barracudas. Yeah, you name it, everyone is after her. For some reason. Including Kiryu, actually. So, yeah. It gets a little complicated, of course. I mean, it's like a dragon, so that's what we're expecting. As for battle, yeah, the RPG battle gameplay of Like a Dragon is back in force and still pretty much intact as well. In that sense, this new location does not really change much in the grand scheme of things. You will still be basically exploring a city, which is definitely bigger than before, sure. Finding, again, thugs to beat up, gain levels, grind, can pick up items, sell them, craft weapons, there's a lot of secrets, there's a lot of sub-stories obviously, shops to buy equipment from, and of course, minigames. So yeah, Infinite Wealth uses the turn-based RPG system of the 2020 game, with some slight adjustments, and it's, yeah, definitely works better than before. There's a few tricks that you can use, which will allow you to beat up enemies quite quicker than before, so yeah, those were some very good improvements. Also, for example, Kiryu can still use his three classic styles of combat. And the job system is also back, and if you don't remember it, this basically allows your characters to change attacks and properties and use new weapons as well. But the interesting thing is that the job system is very much linked to Ichiban's character. So you remember charisma, confidence, style, all that stuff from Like a Dragon 2020? Yeah, that's back as well. And the way that you get your character stats up is by, for the most part, participating in minigames. Now, we know that minigames have almost always been a part of the Like a Dragon series, even back in the Yakuza days, of course. But it seems that the latest games have really been going on in deep on them. Infinite Wealth is probably the one title with the most minigames of all. So much that, honestly, this feels like the true Warioware of the entire series. Yeah, a little less weird, but not that much. There's an incredibly exhaustive list of things to do. There's a dating app, another app that lets you meet friends on the street that you'll have to greet and sometimes save from the thugs that are beating them up, and dogs and birds and cows that you can feed. Again, this is all done to allow Ichiban to gain character points. Of course, the classic Sujidex Pokemon-like game is also back, where you can gather up random enemies from the streets after you've beaten them up and make them go against other enemies. And there's also a crazy taxi-like game where you deliver food and you have to string up combos and gather as much food as you require, pizzas and burgers, so that sort of stuff. There's also a kind of a on-rails shooter where you track down weirdos and take their pictures. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting about 10 of them, but yeah, you get the drift. We could be here all day talking about all the minigames in Infinite Wealth. But that's not all. We have to talk about one more. Because at one point, the entire story stops altogether because Ichiban is dragged to an entire island of things to do. Basically, this is like a Dragon Animal Crossing, or maybe like a Dragon Crossing, I don't know, but yeah. So, now that would be perfectly okay if those were, you know, secondary, not essential. You could be free to just say, no, not interested in that, I'd like to go back to the main plot. But you cannot do that in this case, because the game forces you to stay on the island. You have to spend at least 3 days there. The story is just paused. Nothing is going on in the main story. There's also no way to go back anyway. So you're just stuck there. You're cleaning up trash, you're catching bugs, you're fishing, you're doing DIY furniture building, you're trying to get the resort back to the 5-star. And sorry, what game was I playing again? So yeah, you get the drift. There's a lot of stuff to do, and that's mostly the main issue I have with Infinite Wealth. There's really infinite wealth of things to do, but those end up distracting the player from what I think should be the main focus of Infinite Wealth, especially, yeah, we've talked about Kiryu and Ichiban, the gripping drama. We have those two classic characters meeting, so this is the real clash of the old Yakuza series with the new Like a Dragon kind of branding. We're stuck on an island catching bugs. What is going on? And I'm not hating on the minigames. The minigames are all mostly okay, and yeah, they're pretty fun, honestly. Crazy Taxi Life is fun, but I don't really feel like I should play it more than once, maybe. And the dating app is also strange because, again, you will receive hot pictures from, yeah, real-life women. So again, I mean, there's no nudity, obviously, but that's still strange. Pausing the entire plot and the entire game again and again so that Ichiban can learn how to write a hot message to a woman, or can go deliver pizzas, or can catch bugs on an island. I don't know, it doesn't really help me immerse in the drama. And the story feels like it was paced deliberately to allow you to go to do stuff while nothing much is happening. Ichiban is a lot of times tasked with just going from point A to point B in a Y, then back again to point C, so you know, the devs are making sure that you hit all the necessary locations where you can get all those new shiny minigames. You know, in the old games in the series, the minigames used to complement the story, you know, be like a kind of neat little extra that you can spend some time with. Now they're starting to feel like they are actually the main dish. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you're looking for, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth definitely delivers in spades. As for me, I was, I guess, more invested with the drama and the classic humor in the series, which were the main two elements that always were a draw, the main reason why I played almost all the other games in the series. And sure, the old, Yakuza gameplay was sometimes a bit too simple, too straightforward, but at least it never really wasted the player's time. Okay, maybe sometimes, but yeah, I would say it was mostly fine. It's also difficult to criticize Infinite Wealth, because theoretically you could just ignore the minigames and continue on the main plot. But there's a couple of problems. I mean, for once, there's the obvious fact that there seems to be more grinding than usual, because I was picking up a lot of random fights, so I wasn't escaping them or avoiding them. But most main plot bosses were always 2-3 levels. The game would recommend that I gain at least 2-3 levels for my team and gain some better equipment. So again, you're mostly, pausing anyway, so it's very natural for the player to just get distracted. Especially, the minigames can also be fun, so it's, It's a difficult situation, honestly. So, do you want to get carried away into yet another minigame, or should you just actually finally go back to the main plot, which was about finding an old lady or something? Yeah, anyway, but interestingly also, Japan used to be, of course, described in the games as, crime and all that nasty stuff, but the games always made you want to go to Japan, at least they did for me. The way they use Hawaii in Infinite Wealth is a real-life location, but described as incredibly dangerous.
丈夫か。
There's like 2-3 different mafia organizations. They're parading the streets at night. There's violence. It's way more dark than usual, I would say. I mean, it's still fun, you know, humor, yes, but it's definitely difficult to say that Infinite Wealth does for a Y what past Yakuza games did for Japan, you know, Kamurocho sort of thing. And the local culture is also mostly skipped on, which is a bit of a shame because, I mean, sure, the team is still Japanese, so yeah, I mean, I guess, but it's kind of a missed opportunity. Like, you could have won a full-on Hawaiian character in the team, or just maybe a Western guy, I don't know. But yeah, there's another basically new Japanese characters, and there's also one Tomizawa, which is honestly pretty forgettable. And of course, there's Adachi and Namba, which come back, so yeah, there's a lot of faces that we still recognize. So, yeah, in the end, I think Infinite Wealth will probably satisfy most long fans of the series, but I still feel we'll probably leave a few of them with some questions at least. Like, is this what we want out of Like a Dragon? Do we want like a kind of open world, open city maybe, RPG where you just spend a lot of time doing mini games and the plot is mostly just playing second fiddle to those? Is this what you want? If that's what you want, I guess, yeah, you're ready to embrace the new direction Like a Dragon is going. Or, yeah, if you're a bit like me, I guess you just want to cling to the old memories and the old drama and the old humor, so you might not be entirely satisfied, like I was. But still, if you want more Like a Dragon, you know who to ask.
Oh yeah!